Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into an intriguing topic that brings together four Commonwealth nations, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom, collectively known as Canzuk. This proposal aims to strengthen ties among these countries in various ways, and will explore what Canzuk entails, the potential benefits, challenges it faces, and what the future might hold. Let's start with the history and context of Canzuk. The idea of closer cooperation among these nations isn't new. It stems from their shared history as members of the British Commonwealth. After World War II, there was a strong sense of camaraderie among Commonwealth countries, leading to various collaborative efforts. However, as globalization and regional partnerships grew in prominence, the concept of Canzuk began to re-emerge, particularly in recent years, as countries sought to navigate the complexities of a changing world. So, what exactly does Canzuk propose? At its core, the Canzuk initiative aims to facilitate the free movement of people, goods, and services between Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. The proposals typically focus on three main areas: immigration, trade, and foreign policy cooperation. Free movement of people. One of the key aspects of Canzuk is the idea of allowing citizens from these countries to live and work in one another's nations without the need for visas. This could significantly simplify the immigration process for skilled workers and professionals, addressing labour shortages in key sectors. For instance, Canada has been grappling with labour shortages in technology and healthcare, and Australia has similar needs in various industries. By enabling easier migration, Canzuk could help fill these gaps and foster a more dynamic workforce, trade and economic cooperation. Another important component of Canzuk is enhancing trade relations among the member countries. Currently, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand have trade agreements with the UK, but Canzuk could lead to a more comprehensive free trade agreement. This would reduce tariffs and regulatory barriers, promoting economic growth. For example, a study by Canzuk International suggested that removing barriers could increase GDP across the member nations significantly, potentially adding over $30 billion to their economies. Foreign policy coordination. Canzuk also emphasizes the importance of collaborative foreign policy efforts. As these nations share common values, such as democracy, human rights, and the rule of law, working together on global issues like climate change, security, and international trade can amplify their collective voice on the world stage. Now, let's delve into the pros of Canzuk. One significant advantage is economic growth. A report from Canzuk International estimated that removing barriers to trade and labour mobility could result in significant economic benefits. The potential economic growth could foster innovation, increase job opportunities, and enhance productivity across the member nations. Another pro is cultural exchange. The historical ties between these nations have already fostered a strong cultural connection, but Canzuk could deepen this relationship further. By facilitating travel and collaboration, people could share ideas, art, and traditions, enriching the cultural fabric of each country. Moreover, Canzuk can enhance global competitiveness. By forming a united front on global issues, these nations could strengthen their positions in international negotiations and organizations. This collaborative approach could lead to more effective policies on climate change, security, and economic development. However, it's essential to consider the cons and challenges of Canzuk. One major concern is political feasibility. Achieving consensus among four different governments, each with its own priorities and agendas, can be challenging. For instance, immigration policies can be contentious, and differing views on how to manage these policies may hinder progress. Recent discussions in the UK around immigration following Brexit highlight the complexities involved. A significant aspect of advancing Canzuk will involve government votes and legislative processes. Each country will need to conduct its own assessments and debates. For example, in the UK, members of Parliament would need to vote on any new immigration policies or trade agreements stemming from Canzuk discussions. In Canada, similar debates would occur in Parliament, where lawmakers would evaluate the implications of free movement and trade with these nations. Given the current political climate, particularly with shifting priorities following the pandemic, some analysts suggest a potential timeline for implementation could be set for 2025 or 2026, contingent upon successful negotiations and parliamentary approval. Another challenge is the potential for cultural dilution. As free movement becomes more accessible, there's a risk that smaller or less dominant cultures may struggle to maintain their unique identities. For example, New Zealand's Maori culture or Canada's Indigenous cultures could face challenges in preserving their traditions and languages in a more homogenized environment. Economic disparities between the member nations could also pose a challenge. While countries like Australia and Canada have strong economies, New Zealand and the UK may face different economic realities. Ensuring that all member countries benefit equitably from the proposed agreements will require careful planning and negotiation. Furthermore, public sentiment varies across these nations. In the UK, for instance, immigration has become a hot-button issue, especially following Brexit. Concerns about job competition and strain on public services can lead to resistance against initiatives that promote free movement. Now, let's consider the potential costs associated with Canzuk. Implementing such an initiative would involve significant government resources, particularly in developing the infrastructure to support increased immigration and trade. Estimates suggest that the costs of adjusting immigration systems and enhancing trade facilities could reach several $billions. However, proponents argue that the long-term economic benefits, including increased GDP and job creation, could offset these initial investments. In conclusion, Canzuk represents a unique opportunity for Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK to strengthen their ties and collaborate on pressing global issues. While the potential benefits are significant, the challenges cannot be overlooked. As these nations continue to navigate a rapidly changing world, the conversation around Canzuk will be essential. What do you think about the Canzuk proposal? Is it a viable way to enhance collaboration among these nations, or are the challenges too great? Let us know in the comments below.